Figuring out the world's strongest adhesive? Well, that's a sticky question. But we're going to answer it today on Life's Potluck Buffet, or at least pose an answer that I think will be a good one. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for listening. I was looking at some glues today. It's a long story, but it made me think, well, what's the strongest glue in the world? And so I started to look into that. And what I discovered is something really interesting. There's a Guinness record that has been holding since 2013 for, I'm going to say, the world's strongest adhesive, but maybe it may not be the world's strongest adhesive. The world's strongest human-made adhesive. That gives you a clue as to where I'm going with this, because there's a natural adhesive that is stronger than this, at least as far as I can calculate. So here's the story. The strongest adhesive, last record that I found set in the Guinness Book of Records, is in 2013, where a company, Delo, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's a German company. If you're with Delo, please let me know if that's how you say it. I tried to watch some of their marketing videos to see how they pronounced it, but all of them didn't. I couldn't find it actually being said. It was just kind of like the name, the kind of word mark that they use would pop up on the screen, and there would be music, but nobody said Delo. So we'll anybody out there work with Delo for Delo, let me know. Just get in touch. So they did an experiment with basically melting a high performance plastic and allowing that to cool, and what this did basically was bond to a steel cylinder, which was attached to a 16.3 metric ton, 17.5 metric ton truck, and they lifted it using those bonds. It looks like, from the video, it looks like 4 bonds, and they had it suspended there for an hour. And so that is the record for the world's strongest adhesive made by human beings. And I'm going to say, just so that you can check my math, it says on their Delo Adhesives webpage that the applied force was 43.1 newtons per millimeter squared. That's okay. So that newtons per millimeter squared is our measure there of this applied force, and that the bonding force. And then a ripping force, has to be greater than that in order to, rip the thing apart. And so it comes unglued. But that's just what we human beings can do in terms of stuff we cook up to stick things together. And granted, it's going to work for just about everything, next time you need to glue that pickup truck together. So, but nature has a way to create a glue that is stronger and creates a stronger bond than anything that human beings can come up with. And that was tested by a person named Michael Hopkin, and they published the results in the journal Nature in 2006. And this is the Guinness record for the strongest, what Guinness calls natural glue. But I think we can probably say this is just the world's strongest adhesive, so that has been discovered so far. And it is produced by a bacterium called the Caulobacter crescentus. And that's what we have a picture of on the thumbnail for today. And this bacteria, let me just say, The Calobacter, the callow part of the Calobacter, that is the same word as in you have this in your refrigerator, and I don't think you have the Calobacter in the refrigerator. I hope not. It's you have maybe cauliflower, or maybe you keep it outside of your refrigerator. You probably shouldn't refrigerate it, I guess. Anyway, so the cauliflower, that cauli part comes from this word. Ultimately, it's a Greek word, kaulos, which means a stem, but also in ancient times, it could refer to the, a head of a cabbage or things like that. And then it came through Latin and then through Italian as cavolo, and then cavolo fiore, anyway. That cavolfiore became cauliflower in English, and that's how we get that word. So this bacterium produces a polysaccharide, and these are sugary things that bacteria produce. They're very, common substances, but bacteria produce them a lot as adhesives, and they're sticky, and that's something that. So, for example, those of you who are gluten-free bakers probably definitely have used xanthan gum in order to replicate the gluten in, say, bread or cake products that you want to have that texture so that it's sticky and air pockets get in there, and you have the bread-like texture and or cake-like texture. And that xanthan gum is a polysaccharide. And so that gives you a sense of, and that's derived from fermentation, and involved in that fermentation is a bacterium that is what, helps produce this polysaccharide. So the force that the Calobacter crescentus can withstand, the ripping force, is 70 newtons per square millimeter. Now remember, the Delos adhesive was something like 43. It was in the 40s, 43 newtons per square millimeter, which means that when that bacteria wants to attach itself to something, it stays stuck. So that's not quite twice as many newtons as the adhesive that was made by humans. It's also much stronger than any thing that you have in your house, and anything that I have in my house in terms of commercial adhesives as well, by 3 times. And that was the thing that the article focused on in Nature in 2006, is that it's 3 times more sticky than super glue. So let's ask the cards for something that we could adhere to in our work and lives, and we'll see what they have to say. So yellow lemons, blue dumplings, magenta noodles. Cards, tell us some things. All right. And here is the card for today. It's card 32. The back of your mind has a full-time job. So ask yourself a question to solve, then refinish a chair, or run an errand, or take a walk, or glue something together. And whatever you can do to clear your mind. And then while you're doing that activity, just let the back of your mind solve the problem you're trying to solve. Same is true with dreaming. That's just something that happens with our backs of our minds when we're asleep. Conscious problems are often solved by unconscious thought. So whatever activity you do to clear your mind, take a moment today and do that. And if it involves glue, think about the Calobacter crescentus and how it would be really handy if we all had that in a bottle. I'll see you tomorrow on Life Spotlight Buffet.